Hey guys, good afternoon. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's not nice and sunny as it was yesterday, but guess what? It is still a beautiful day, all in how you look at it. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Barbara Anderson. I'm your main host today, and I'll be talking to you a bit about our company. We're talking to you about who we are and what we do. And hold on one second, guys. Give me a second. Hey guys, please accept my apologies. Sorry about that. Sorry about that there. Yes, so my name is Barbara Anderson. I'll be sharing with you today a bit about our company, who we are. I'll be talking to you about what we do and whether or not this is something that you can see the value of. We're hoping you will see it. I think, a wise man get the facts and base the decision on facts. I'm really glad you've taken the decision to join us today to hear a little bit more about us and what we do. And I'll be taking you through. But before I do that, why don't I introduce you to our other speakers? Mr. Mike Granger, are you with us?
Yeah. Hi, Barbara.
Hey, Michael, it's good to see you. Michael, we still need to do lunch, right? I was thinking the other evening that I owe you lunch, yeah? I still owe your birthday lunch, so we'll figure lunch out, all right?
We'll
So
figure
it's good to
something.
have fun, guys. This lovely gentleman will share with you today a bit about one of the concepts that we're really trying to get people to understand when it comes to finance. So, Mike, we look forward to hearing from you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, see you in a bit. See you in a bit. We've also got the lovely Sabina Sunaram. Sabina, Executive Vice President. Sabina, are you with us?
Good afternoon, Barbara. Yes, I am.
Now I'm going to have to promise you lunch as well, right? Sabina, can you believe it's been over a year? I mean, since we've last kind of seen each other, apart from might be online, we haven't seen each other. It's been such a long time, so can't wait to see you, right?
Absolutely great to catch up in person.
Absolutely, guys. This beautiful lady will talk to you a little bit about our business opportunity, both from a full-time and a part-timer's perspective as well. So, hey, Sabina, we look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely. Look forward to sharing a few words.
Fantastic, fantastic. And the lovely Miss Delen Barbie. Miss Barbie, are you with us?
I am. Good afternoon. Can you hear and see me?
Yeah, yes, I can do both.
Nice.
I won't promise this young lady lunch, guys. I mean, I've seen her. I've seen her once, a couple of times since lockdown.
I'm coming to your house next week, so you'll see me again.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. I know I'll see you in a few weeks' time as well for my big birthday party. So look forward to seeing you as well. But hey, guys, this lovely lady is going to talk to you a little bit about one of the concepts in finances as well, and also what it means for her and what it means why she continues to teach this to others as well. So you'll be hearing from those three. As I mentioned, my name is Barbara Anderson. I'm your main host. I'm one of the senior vice presidents in our companies. I'm also one of the founders of our company. So I've been doing the same thing for 17 years. I'm a qualified accountant by profession. And 17 years ago, a very good friend of mine invited me to a business meeting where she wanted me to come along and tell her, whether or not I was open to an opportunity to raise my income or whether or not I could benefit from the education, and also to tell her whether or not she was making the right choice by getting involved in the business. And so I went along to the meeting. At the end of the presentation, I said to the guy who hosted the meeting, I said, I've only got two questions. One, how do I get to your position and how much is it going to cost me? That was my next question. Guys, in that moment, I thought about just when I look at all the hard work that I do, and I've never been given any education when it comes to finances. I couldn't afford a financial advisor. So I was just one of those people who were struggling to make ends meet. And I'm also, you're going to see a statistic I'm going to share with you about what happens at retirement. I was on track to being one of those 95% of people who did not become financially independent, all being because I did not understand finances, which is a big problem. We work for money, but we don't understand finances. And so he said I needed to pay £140 for my background check, and that was my own investment. and I could get to his position in 5 months. So yep, I paid for my background check, which was 140. In fact, I rang him and I said to him, hey, don't bank my check. After I'd written my check the morning and gave it to him, I said, don't bank my check. He said, why not? I said, I haven't got to spare 140 pounds. He said, if your car broke down on the motorway, you had no breakdown cover, Barbara, would you sleep there? I said to him, no. He said, if I gave her the key to a brand new car, you had to find 150 pounds to go up to the Midlands to pick it up. Will you find 150 pounds? I said, I guess I could. He said, well, do the same thing you would do. Don't call me back. And he hung up his phone. As well as being an accountant, I was a single mother. I was also working a second job just to make ends meet. I was going to college 2 evenings a week as well. And my daughter was 3 years old when I was introduced to the business. And you know, in the 17 years that I've been doing this, every day that I get to share with people what I do and get to, you know, make some kind of impact on their lives, it just reminded me of what I saw when I made the decision 17 years ago. So I'm hoping as we go through, you will see what I saw. And here's what I'm going to say to you as well. If what I do is not for you, that's okay. But I do recognize that financial education is crucial now more than ever. And I'm going to share some statistics again with some financial matters to show you why what we're doing is so crucial right now and why we need more people who are looking to raise their income or who could benefit from the education. But if what I do is not for you, hey, that's fine. You got a new friend in London called Barbara, so that's okay. And also, you can learn something today. If nothing else, you learn something from what I say today, and that's what I'd hope for. So let me take you through. As I said, I'm going to talk to you about the business. I'm going to talk to you about who we are, what we do, and really what's in it for you. Before I get in, I mean, Bill Gates said something. He said, if you're born poor, it's not your mistake. So don't worry about being born poor. But if you die poor, guys, that is your mistake. So it's important that we create kind of a life that our children will be able to do better than what we did. Listen, right now, you should be thinking, if you have children or if you have grandchildren, you should be thinking about the fact that, you know, your children, your ceiling, you know, should be your children's floor. We can't start every generation financially at the bottom. And so today I'm going to talk to you about our businesses in financial services. And so it is more about understanding finances and money and also being able to teach others what you know, and in so doing create an income. So if you die poor, yes, that will be your mistake, because your children will suffer the consequence. And if you don't have children, it could be your community, it could be those you care about will suffer the consequence of us not making good financial decisions during our lifetime. Now, let me talk to you about the statistics that I said I wanted to share with you today. And if you look at it, as you know, the Financial Conduct Authority regulates all financial businesses in the UK. And so, yes, we are fully regulated as well by the Financial Conduct Authority. And so let me talk to you about some of the statistics that they have just shared recently. And if you look, they pointed out, and this is April, it's so funny, guys, I've been so busy that even June statistics have come out and I haven't had a chance to update them yet. But please forgive me that the rules are still the same. Nothing is changing. Nothing is getting better. In fact, it's getting worse. And according to the FCA, between 14 and 18 million people in the UK have no savings or less than £1,000 in savings. So that's a big problem, which then means that people are borrowing more, especially during the pandemic. 11 million people borrowed just to make ends meet and to get by financially. And some people, you are using high cost credit just to pay for their day-to-day essentials. 11 years it's going to take for the average first-time buyer to find a deposit for their home. And so we're thinking about buying our own homes and also thinking about, you know, helping our children to get on the property ladder. It is going to be a big problem. Now, if you think about it, what I'm sharing with you today is finances, and my colleague Juliet was sharing today about people said they're okay. And the thing about it is, a question I want to ask you is, do you know your FIN, which is your FIN, your financial independence number, which is the amount of money that is going to take care of you for the rest of your life, even if you never went back to work, provide for your children, pay for your retirement, and leave a legacy. Do you know how much that figure is? And this is so important because a lot of people have got not enough knowledge around finances, and there's so many things that they should be doing better or they could be doing better with their financial lives, and they're not aware of it. The state pension is also a bomber, £175. 20 is the current state pension. So you might very well say, hey, Barbara, that's fine. I've got my work pension. That's okay. But if you haven't created enough money right now, guys, when you get to retirement, you realize that it's not going to be be what you're expecting, because even with your work pension and whatever you are going to get as a state pension, you haven't got enough. So one of the thing about it is we're teaching people how to create enough income right now that they can live the financial independence life right now, but also when they get to retirement, that they can still be financially okay. And when they're no longer around, their family will still be able to be financially independent. So this is part of what we do. So there's two aspects to what I do. There's the income side, and what I'm sharing with you is the client side at the moment, because from the client side, you can see what we're looking for. And before you also say, I don't know nothing about finances, that's okay. Most people that I talk to know nothing about finances. There's 65 million people in the UK. In fact, come back to that line in a minute. And according to the FCA, we find that 34% of people in the UK have got poor numeracy skills when it comes to understanding financial concepts. And that include people who are very ambitious, people who are doctors, people who are solicitors, people who've got great jobs, guys, that when I sit and I talk to them about finances, I realize that, man, they still got a long way to go, not because it's intentional. Sometimes it's because they're not getting the education themselves, or sometimes they're too busy to get the education for themselves. And then we've got inheritance tax here being a big thing. 5.2 billion was paid in inheritance tax by people who passed away on their estate between 2019 and 2020. So again, these are just some of the financial things that are happening, which is why now more than ever, we recognize the importance of the business that we're offering and what we're doing for families as well. So my question is, do you agree that you or someone you know will be affected by at least one of these? And if you're already wealthy, that's fine. It means then that, will you be affected by inheritance tax? Do you understand inheritance tax? And so are you prepared for it? For a lot of people, they're not prepared. So as you come on board and you work with us, you'll understand these concepts a lot better. You'll be able to use them more effectively. You'll also be able to teach people how to use them better. In so doing, you're creating a bigger legacy for your family as well. Our company is called GeniStar. That is who we are. GeniStar came out of two words: Genesis, meaning new beginnings, and star being leaders, creating leaders. We're regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, just like they regulate all other financial services company. We're fully regulated. And as I said, our focus is on education, is providing education as well as financial services that are suited to people's circumstances. And we also want to empower them to make better financial decisions, because if people get the good education, they can make better decisions. And that is how our business was created. Sorry, 1 second, please. Sorry there, guys. I've been online since 8:30 this morning speaking, so my voice has just decided to give out on me. Let's see, let it hold out and see, all right? So let's talk about some of the goals and the dreams that you have right now. Have you got some goals and some dreams that's going to take you a substantial amount of money to achieve? It might be a big goal, it might be a little goal, but what is it that you're aspiring towards? What are some of the things that are important to you that you achieve for you and for your family? And how close are you to those goals? Are they close by? Are they far away? How are you getting on with those goals right now? And if they seem far away, and if in 10 years' time we're having a conversation and you haven't achieved those goals, how would you feel? You know, the things about goals, or anything, I don't know. Think of something that you've achieved. There's something that might be something really small. You might have been trying to open something. You might be trying to figure out something. And when you figure it out, you suddenly get this feeling of elation because it's happened, just that little moment. And that's exactly what goals and dreams are about. Sometimes it's going to be a big elation, sometimes it's a little elation that you have. But the thing is, if in 10 years' time you haven't achieved your goals and your dreams, how would you feel? Would you be elated or would you be disappointed? I'm sure you'd be disappointed. But if you could achieve your goals and your dreams in a shorter period of time, how about that this time? Would it be elation? I'm sure whilst the first one would be disappointment, this one would be elation. And those goals could be, I don't know, getting on the property ladder, creating a legacy for your family, having an emergency fund, creating an education fund. It could be any of those things right now. It could be helping others, helping a charity. It could be one of those things that you are looking to aspire towards. And those are the things that are important, that as you understand finances and get better with your finances, you can achieve them in a shorter period of time. Now, let's look at what's happening right now. And, you know, COVID is just the highlighter of people's situation. COVID wasn't just the problem. COVID was a big part of the problem, but the problem was always there. Not having enough income has always been a big problem. People didn't suddenly have a big reduction in their income. Nurses didn't suddenly get a drop in pay cut, or teachers, or, you know, or if you're a cleaner or whatever, you didn't get that. You're a support worker, you know, whatever it is. Your income didn't just drop because of COVID. But COVID just highlighted the problem that was there. When people weren't able to go to work and do overtime as much as they were able to before, then that then highlighted how dire the situation was. We find that people are more stressed out now because of their situation. People recognize now that their retirement plan is not going to be as they expect it to be. Redundancy is now the order of the day for a lot of people. So here's another question. I'm going to ask you lots of questions as I go through. My question to you is, how do you feel about the current situation? Is it rosy? Is it what it looked like a year ago? Is it what it looked like 5 years ago? How do you feel about your current situation? And the next question is, what if you change nothing? What will happen if you change nothing about your current situation? Will your life get better if you change nothing? Will it grow? Will it expand? Will you be at the same place? Will you regress? And if you think about making the same income you're making today versus making that same income a year ago or 5 years ago, in fact, you're in a worse position, because when you factor in inflation, guys, of about 3.5% every year on what we're earning, we're getting further and further behind instead of moving forward. So what if you change nothing? What will your situation look like if you change nothing? Will it improve? Will it retract? Will it stay the same? And if it's not going to improve, guys, I'm going to say to you, you got to do something about it. You got to change the state of play, because unfortunately, if you don't do anything about it right now. So here's what happened. We're working right now. We have energy. We can do overtime. We can do second jobs. We can do all of these things. And we do all of those things to make more money. So what we need to be looking at is, as I'm working right now, am I being financially independent? Am I creating financial independence? And if you're creating financial independence, then chances are when you get to retirement, you will be okay. You'll be in the top 5%. But if right now you're not creating enough income to be financially independent, then what you're going to find is, unfortunately, you're going to end up in the 95%. Earl Nightingale recorded this on a record in 1956, and he said only 5% of people actually become financially okay by retirement, which is a killer, because it means that 95% of people, guys, don't make it out well at the end of their working years. So that is the problem. And statistics are for the masses, but unfortunately, we are part of the masses, and unless we do something, we will become part of the negative statistics. So what are you doing right now to make sure that when you get to that point, do you know the first 10% of what you earn you must give? The next 10% is your emergency fund, and the third percent is your legacy fund. So think about living on 70% of your income. Could you live on 70% of your income right now? If the answer is no, then the answer is increasing your income, because those 30% is like it's globally used, it's universal, and this is how people sometimes become wealthier. Apart from the ones who've created a big business or found something, most people will find that in order to become financially okay, these are the rules that they'll have to follow. But retirement is a big thing, because a lot of people are really looking forward to retirement right now, but unfortunately, it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. So I'm going to get my colleague Mike Granger to jump on here for a minute, just to talk to you about working and being ready for retirement and what you should be doing if you're not there right now. Hey, Mr. Mike, you can see my voice is knocked out, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. Poor old
I
thing.
know. I could hear my mom shouting from next to her, like, "Are you okay? What's happening?" I can still speak though. The voice ain't gonna stop me. So, Mike, listen. Thanks again, as I mentioned earlier, for joining us this afternoon. And why don't you share a little bit for our guests about your work life? Because I know sometimes people assume when we talk about things, we're talking to old, broken, poor people and people who struggle their whole life. Tell us a little bit about your work life.
Okay, yes, well, I can't complain. I've had a pretty good life, really. I joined the army straight from college and did a 25-year full career. And then I worked for an American computer company, a manufacturer, who were very successful, very thrusting at that time. And as a result of that, they were both very generous in their planning proposal for pensions, but also they gave me a great number of share options, which I was able to cash in before they went bust. So by the time I finished with them, I found myself with a reasonable pot, sort of quite a good amount of money, able to put by for my future. Of course, I must make the point that I learned nothing at school about finance. I knew nothing about finance. And to me, it was a complete black art. I have no idea, had no idea about how finance worked or what was involved or anything. It was just something I knew nothing about. But I knew I had to do something. So I asked around to my friends and they said, "Oh, so a financial advisor, that's what everybody does." So I duly checked around and I found a guy who drove a Porsche. So I reckoned he was probably rich and therefore a successful financial advisor. And so I selected him to look after my money, which is perhaps not the best way to do it, but nonetheless, it seemed to work all right because he was certainly, he did the job all right for me and everything was fine. So I stuck my head back in the sand again, carried on doing what I was doing and forgot all about retirement until 2008. And that was the time of the big financial crash, as you're probably aware. And at that time, I got notification that my pension pot had literally halved overnight. Now, if I'd known then what I know now, then perhaps I could have done something about it. Couldn't have solved it all, but I could have solved some of it. But I didn't. I knew nothing about it. As far as I can see, well, okay, I'm going to be a little bit less money when I get to retirement age, but still, that's the way it is. That's life. And I probably got back to work, climbed back into my little rut, and carried on working as I was doing. As a result, when I hit retirement age, I suddenly found myself with an income which was less than my outgoings, and certainly wasn't going to keep me for the rest of my days, and that caused me a great deal of concern. So I'm one of the 41% of people who, despite being past retirement age, I'm still working for a living.
Wow. You know, Mike, it's amazing that if during our work life we haven't created, most people, as I mean, and you know, you might disagree. I mean, you know, feel free to. Most people who during their work lives don't live a financially independent life, and I'm not talking about people who squander their money, not those ones. I'm talking about the people who never have enough to be able to live well and not worry about paying the bills and having reserve money. And most times we see that those people end up by the time they get to retirement with a poor retirement fund and more, and then end up with no legacy fund. You know, so you know, would you agree with that? That you know, sometimes if we're not in the right space, I mean, and you know, what are your views on that, really?
I think you're right. The only thing is, though, to be honest, I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Average, which I think I probably am. I mean, you have children. Children are horribly expensive. You don't realise at the time because it's quite easy to make them. But then when you get them, you suddenly find they cost an absolute arm and a leg. They cost a fortune. You know, so I had 4 of them, so it was pretty expensive. So for me to actually put extra money away, I would say was virtually impossible. It was literally as it came in, it went out, and it was another pair of shoes needed. And as a result of that, there's not much chance. I don't think it's fair to sort of say that people don't think about retirement, but they probably can't do much about it. And that was my situation. There was very little I could do about it once I'd actually put the things together for the plan.
Yeah, you mentioned something quite key there. The fact that we have children. I was looking at the FCA statistics, and it's taking over 20,000 a year to bring up a child. So imagine, you know, if you're still working, you're looking at, you need to create an extra 20,000 just separate from what you're doing and your income. You need an extra 20,000. If you got 2 of them, you need an extra 40,000 a year just to take care of it too. So it is really a crazy situation, and which is why we've been trying to say to people, you got to raise your income, because if you don't raise your income, then you won't be financially independent, and it means when you get to retirement, it's a problem. So tell us a little bit then about how you got involved in Jenny Star and why you got involved.
Yes, I was past retirement before I came across Jenny Star, in fact, which is a shame in a way, because I think if I got to know them earlier, I'd have been in a better position to than I am at the moment. But anyway, suffice to say, what happened was I was running my own property company at the time, and a guy working for me kept on at me about going and having a look at this business opportunity. He invited me 4 times to have a look, and I said no 4 times. It's a clue there. And on the 5th time, I thought, well, I can't keep saying no to him. It's not polite. I'll go along, I'll have a look at it. I'll tell him, no, it's not for me. Thank you very much. And, we'll leave it at that. He won't bother me anymore. So I duly went along, and I went to a rather posh place in East London, actually. I was rather surprised at that. But even more surprising was the fact there were more than 200 people there. I thought, wow, all these people, that's quite a lot. What's it all about? So I listened to the presentation, and you don't get it all, of course you don't. But I did pick up some nuggets, and a couple of things I picked up was, well, one, that I could probably run my own mortgages. Secondly, I could have my own house insurance and landlord's insurance, all relevant to what I was doing. So I thought, oh, I can fit this in around my own business, and that's great. That means I can actually build and use this as part of my business. If I pay somebody else to do it, I can do it myself. Whoopee. And so that's why I joined up initially. Of course, once you get in, you realize it's not exactly what it's about at all. And in fact, once I got to know a bit more about what was going on and about understanding a bit more about finances, one of the great things about Jenny Star is they teach you an awful lot. You've got an awful lot of information there that you can learn about finance and financial circumstances. Once I got the hang of that and understood what it was all about, I realized that I could help other people not to make the mistakes that I've made. So really my driving force for being with Jenny Star now is to actually help other families, help new families who are starting out, whatever level, so that they can not make the mistakes I've made, and that when they do come to reach retirement age, they're in a better position than I was in when I came to retire.
Yeah. And it's funny that a lot of people, when you talk about retirement, the only thing they think of is pension. And I'm saying retirement is a lifestyle. It's a way of life. It's not a pension. It's not really, it's a lot more. It's a lot bigger than that. Mike, this morning, and we were sharing today about something that I learned on Thursday, and I've been in financial services a long time, and I go like, I did not know that. It was like, wow. And how you can fall foul of the HMRC with just this one thing. And I'm thinking, I didn't know that. And I thought I knew a lot. So again, it's just about learning all of these things. And, again, our business is not just about retirement. It's about all the other things before and after as well. Yeah,
well, I say, unless you're very lucky and die young, you're going to reach retirement at some age. And you don't want to spend the last years of your life counting pennies and trying to decide if you should heat the house or if you want to eat something. It's not the way to. You should be out enjoying the retirement. Go on the cruises, have fun, go on holidays, see the grandchildren, enjoy life. That's what you should be doing. But of course, the best time to start planning for your retirement is actually the day you leave school. But of course, nobody ever does. We don't think of it. We're never going to die when we're that age. But the second best time is probably today. And so I think our people should be thinking seriously about, their future and how they're going to manage when they reach retirement age. Jenny Star gives those options, doesn't it? Jenny Star teaches you things that you need to know about finance, about yourself, and it's a way of making money alongside whatever the business you're doing at the moment is. It doesn't really matter, but it'll help you to build a successful future. So that's the way I would say to look at it, certainly.
Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks so much for sharing, and we'll work out that lunch date. All right.
My pleasure. But it has to be after I've finished lockdown, unfortunately.
I know. All right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So guys, as Mike has shared with you there, one of the things about us as a business is finances is not just one aspect. It's not one product. Your financial life is different to mine. It's different to your neighbors, different to your cousins, your children, your best friend. Everybody's got their own financial journey. And some of the things are going to be general in terms of guidelines, but some things are going to be unique to people's situation. So these are some of the things that we get to teach, and you will get to teach. We teach debt freedom. There are 3 ways people become debt free. You will be able to teach those 3 ways. And if you've got debt yourself, you'll be able to learn them and use them. Mortgage acceleration, how to pay your mortgage back sooner without borrowing anymore, putting yourself in any further debt. How many people out there do you think has never heard of this concept before? And these things have always been there. You know, we didn't create them. They were always there, but guess what? Chances are you've never heard of it. The people that you're going to talk to have never heard of it. Guys, there's 65 million people in the UK. Currently, there are less than 20,000 financial advisors in the UK. But we felt we wanted a different approach to finances. We didn't want to just give advice. We want to give education that people can use and get empowered, that they can make better decisions. We teach the rule of 72, which I'll share with you, that one. Smarter ways of investing. Now, the FCA said that the average savings rate in the UK is 0.06%. And I'm going to show you how that would work in relation to the rule of 72. So what do you do with your money if the interest rate's been given by your financial institution is not great? Think about, again, the amount of people out there who don't know what to do with their money. And they're too scared to invest because they think, oh my God, somebody told me once that the stock market crashed and somebody said they had something, and they have never had their own experience of investments, and they talk what other people have said. What if you knew how investments work properly? And don't worry, I don't expect you to go become an investment expert, but what if you knew the basics of investing, that you could be able to learn it for yourself, teach it to those around you? And also, in terms of somebody needing investment, we have an investment team that they can meet with your client, provide the investment advice that the client needs if they need advice, or if they can do it themselves, and you get paid. You were going to share this information anyway. What about getting paid for this? And everything that you do and you learn and you're getting better at each time, you have to regurgitate it and share it with someone else. How about properly protecting yourself and your income? Most people are not properly protected either, because they think they're going to die if they get insurance, or I don't know what they think. But it's not just about insurance, and a lot of people do have insurance, but there's some people still don't have the right type of insurance. So there's insurance, but there's investment. These 2 things go hand in hand. There's something called the theory of decreasing responsibility. They say protection insurance means that you haven't got enough saved so that your family could be well off in the future. So you protect that responsibility for the future through insurance. In the meantime, you have to live as well. And depending on how long you live, guess what? You need to be taken care of, and that's what your investments will do. So these are the things we're trying to teach people, that it's not just about having insurance. Insurance is one aspect. Saving and investing is another area that you need to get good at. And there are loads of other concepts that you're going to hear and you're going to be able to teach to others and be able to use in your own lives as well. So rule of 72 is one of the concepts that you're going to learn and you'll be able to teach. Rule of 72 is called the old banking principle. Simply put, if you were to divide 72 by the interest rate you get on your money, whatever the answer is, that's how long it will take for money to double. So I mentioned earlier that currently the FCA said that the average interest rate is 0.06. Now I failed maths 4 times. So don't worry if you're not great at maths either. I'm rubbish at maths. So don't worry about that. If you divide 72, and the good thing is we have all calculators on our phones these days. If we were to divide 72 by 0.06, that's 1,200 years. If you don't believe me, work it on your calculator. 1,200, that's how long money will take to double it, 0.06. The question is, if everybody's investing at 0.06%, how do people become financially independent? And who's teaching people how to do better with their money? That is why we want you to see this education and said, you know what, this is valuable, this makes sense, I could learn this and I could teach it to others if I get the education myself and somebody is willing to support me with the training. And that is what we do. We've got all the resources in place, and we've got the infrastructure, the system, the software, the back office, everything in place to help you to do that. So if you were getting 3%, and remember, it doesn't matter if it's £10 or £1 million, it's exactly the same. So I'm going to use 10,000 in my example. If you went to your bank and you put £10,000 down or £10 down, the bank said we'll give you 3%. Remember the rule, 72 divided by 3 is 24. Your money will double every 24 years. Yeah? Think how many more 24 years are you going to live? And then, and by the way, in the fact that you're not even getting 3%, which is making it even worse, which means you're not going to have to do more to get your money to work. And your clients will have to do more to get their money to work. People on a whole need to be doing 10 times more to get their money to work. The bank will invest it though, because they understand investments. So the bank invested that £10,000. Remember again, 72 divided by 6, that is 12. Money will double every 12 years, 4 times as fast. So that's one of the things about when you and I put our monies in the bank will invest it. Let's say they get 6%. This is what it will look like. They'll also give loans. If the bank lends us out in a loan at 12%, 72 divided by 12 is 6. Every 6 years, they'll double their money. How about a credit card at 24%? This is why, guys, credit cards are great gap stoppers. But I'm trying to get people to stop thinking about credit cards to stop the gap. What I'm starting wanting people to think of is having an emergency fund. Because if you've got a credit card that's not at 0%, guys, this is what's happening. This is what's happening to most people out there, and I don't want you to be one of those people. If the bank gives you a credit card, or your credit card company gives you a credit card that you're paying 24% APR on, then 72 divided by 24 is 3, means every 3 years. Our clients, people around us, our friends, our family, they are paying out double, yet they cannot save. They haven't got enough money to save. And who's teaching them how to make the switch? One of the solutions we teach is something called debt stacking. And debt stacking teach people how to get out of debt sooner as well. Who's teaching debt stacking? Nobody is. And that's what we're trying to change to make sure that people are getting this education. But how do we do that? When we meet a client, just like we talk online, we've got the information already in the form of a presentation. And we go through this with our clients on our first appointments online. We teach them concepts around finances. Guys, some of these concepts, until I came here, I mentioned I was an accountant. I never knew any of those concepts. And then we gather information in Fact Finder because we want to create the plan. Remember what I said earlier, that your financial situation is different to your neighbor, to your best friend, to your colleague, to whoever else you're associated with. Your situation is different. You might have 10 houses, they might have 1. You might have no house, they might have 5. You might have 2 children, they might have 5, or whatever. Your situation is different, which means that everybody's plan is unique. It's not a one-size-fits-all when you create plans for your client. But on the second appointment, you'll be able to go back and be able to present a financial plan that they'll be able to use to achieve their goals on their second appointment. Now, this is what happened on the second appointment. Your client will see different things that they're in need of. They see different things that they're paying too much on and they've never ever reviewed it. They see things that they never knew how it worked in the first instance, but they've got one of them. They've got all of these things. You know, legacy planning is one of the biggest areas that people don't make plans and preparation for. Do you know you can go out, you can get a life coach that talk to you about changing your mindset, changing your state of play, and how to do all of these things. You say you want to lose weight, you go out, you get a fitness coach. You're saying you want to eat healthy, you get a health coach. But money, finances is the one area, there are no financial coaches. And which is why we found a business opportunity in finances that as we are teaching it, we are getting better at it as well. Imagine somebody who is like a health coach. They've gone out and they've checked certain things out. They've checked, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's not good for your body. They've done the research. Now they're better in their health and now they can teach others. It's the same thing when it comes to financial services. We're a little bit like Tesco. When you go to Tesco, Tesco will have foreign exchange offices in there that you can get your foreign currency. They will also have optician, they have TVs, they have Apple phones. They have partnered with different companies that already have great products and services. They don't have to reinvent it. They've partnered with companies and said, hey, we've got a store here and we want to be able to offer your services to our clients because we know that you're of good quality. And that's exactly what Johnny Star has done. We've partnered with companies that offer great services. And so from those companies, we're able to present our clients with the solutions. Guys, I don't know if you know there are 120 lenders in the UK. Did you know that? Most people don't know that. Now your clients will have access to 120 mortgage lenders in the UK when they need a mortgage. You don't have to be the expert and be the one to find which of those 120 lenders. We've already got a mortgage team. We've got trained mortgage advisors who will be able to get your client a mortgage that's suited for their needs. When the mortgage completes, you get paid. When a client does their investment, you're going to get paid. They do their insurance, you get paid. And by the way, guys, your clients do not pay to create a financial plan. Financial game plans are completely free to our clients. They have access to it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as many times as they want. They can log in and they can access their plan. Is that cool or what? A friend of mine is a financial advisor. He said we were jokers because he wants his clients to come back to him so he can charge them every time they want a review. We don't do that. We allow our clients to see this. And guess what? Because they don't pay us for the plan, the companies that they will end up taking a service from that we have suggested will be relevant to their situation or could be relevant to their situation. If they take a service with that company pays us for the business. So we don't even need to charge our clients. So guys, think about what a great way to create an income without you having to go and reinvent the wheel. And these are services that people use on a day-to-day basis, sometimes with no guidance at all. They do it via trial and error, but you'll be able to put them in the right place and the right space to make sure that this is what they require. So I'm going to call my colleague Zella and Barbara here, and Zella is going to talk to you about getting a financial plan. When she got her financial plan, how did it all work for her? So Zella, hey, it's good to see you. My voice has come back a little bit better, right? I'm sure you're already praying that it would get
better. I might not take over.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of that. Actually, when I put everybody on and hit my camera, I was thinking of handing over to Sabina instead. But Suzelle, listen, why don't you tell us a little bit here about how you got involved in the business and why you got involved?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zella Barbe, and I was 24 years old when I was indirectly introduced to Genistar in 2015. I say indirectly because my invitation was under different circumstances in comparison to yours. In that I was with my mum, we was in the car together, and she received a phone call from a lady informing her of the opportunity meeting taking place in North London on a Saturday morning. And bearing in mind, we are South East London based. But as they were talking, I heard the lady say there was an income opportunity working part-time. And it was kind of enough to kind of awaken my senses to want to find out a bit more. Also that, and I wanted to see what exactly it was my mum thought she was getting herself into.
I call that nosy. Young people are nosy.
In this instance, I'll say that curiosity would be the correct term to use.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that. We can meet halfway on that one.
Fair enough.
So why don't you share for our guests here a little bit about what is it you saw? You know, naturally you came curious and you saw it that Saturday morning. I mean, you were one of our younger team members. What is it you saw why you made the decision you were going to get involved?
I'm still young, Barbara. I'm a spring chicken forever. But in regards to what I saw,
everybody's younger than mine.
In regards to what I saw when I came to the opportunity meeting, it was just a transparency in which Genistar was operating with. They were having that money talk, that money discussion, and I thought I could learn these concepts and teach it to other people and get paid for it. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I wasn't born in a rich family, I wasn't born in a poor family, but no one ever told me about money. All I was told is, just go and get a job, and that's what I done. So I thought if I could make this work for me and get paid, then it's definitely worth giving it a try.
So tell us a little bit then about your journey in the business. You're a team leader. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
It's definitely been a journey in that when joining Genistar, guys, one of the requirements isn't that you use any of their products or services, but that you actually review your own finances. Guys, I didn't even have any debt, but I also didn't have any savings. I didn't have any assets. I had no protection, and I certainly wasn't thinking about retirement. So for me, when I had the education given to me, I was convicted in the protection side of things. So I thought, I'm going to get something in place, not necessarily for when I die, because I didn't have children at that time, and I still don't have children, but protection whilst living. So I'm actually referring to the serious illness side of things here. So we made an application to Vitality, it was accepted, and exactly 15 months later, I fell ill overnight and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Fast forward from that event, I was then made redundant from work, but I was made redundant 4 weeks before my 2-year service in that particular role. Just to clarify, I was with the firm for a total of 5 years, but in that role, just under 2 years, which meant that they were within their right to not give me any form of redundancy pay.
Yeah. So no area that people is work for a company for a long time. They will always be redundant if they make you redundant. But again, we know that's not the case. And I saw something last week that actually said, we're not looking for a second income because we're always planning to quit our job. That's not always the case. Sometimes the job quits us. Sometimes the job said, it's okay, we go home. That's it. You know, it could be a bad decision. You know, we've seen, you know, I saw following a case where a nurse did something at work. It wasn't anything bad, but they felt it was bad, and she didn't do her job. And you know, and now she's fighting. She's literally lost her house because she's using it for fight in court. And so these are things that happen to good people. Bad things happen to good people, right? So tell us then a little bit. So now you have no job. What's happening? Where are things at, Zoe?
In regards to my condition, I was actually able to put in a claim with Vitality, and they actually ended up paying me a substantial amount of money, amount I won't disclose. But the reason I mentioned the payment side of things is because we've been brought up in a culture where we've been told not to trust insurance providers. They don't want to pay you out all this. But I think I'm living proof that, you know, having the education, having the guidance, you know, you can get the right protection that's fitting for yourself. In regards to employment, if I'm totally honest, guys, when I joined Genestar, the intention was there, it was pure, but I was so comfortable because I already had a job. So I kind of fell off. I was more kind of sometime-ish than part-time, but Miss Anderson always kept in contact with me. So around the time that I was being made redundant, we had a conversation, and long story short, she asked me if I was ready to get serious with my business because I've always worked. Since I was 16, I've always worked. But I had nothing to show for it. And I thought, you know, I like to be in control as well. So I thought, yeah, I'm definitely going to give Genestar a go with my heart this time, not just my head. And that's what I've been doing since. And it definitely meets and exceeds my needs.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful thing about the business as well is the fact that, you know, you then, you know, even the education you got around investments, you know, you were in a position to now know that, wow, what you can invest in, what you can do with this money, as you said, because now you know that, you know, life's not going to go back to, I mean, you can, I mean, there are miracles, but, you know, in the greater scheme of things, if it doesn't, you've got a lump sum of money that you are not able to figure out what to do with investment-wise and all the other things from the education that you got. It's been amazing. So, Zal, in closing, what would you say to our guests here?
If there's a young person who's listening, I would encourage them to start looking into protection policies whilst living now, because ultimately it could be a serious illness that comes looking for you before death does. And there's a 50% chance you're going to fall ill. There's a 100% chance you're going to pass away. If someone's listening, they're thinking, you know, I want to find out a bit more, I would encourage you to do so, because we've only got an hour to share with you our company, our ethos, our mission, but we're actually a fun company. We have fun. I'm fun, you know, so these are the things we can't show you in an hour. But if you have questions, ask, because naturally we've been told, you know, curiosity killed the cat, and if it's too good to be true, then it probably is. And that's all rubbish, because, you know, for me, you know, curiosity ended up walking me into my destiny. I feel like Genestar was made for me. If there's someone who's, again, listening, they're like, you know, this definitely isn't for me, that's absolutely fine, no love lost. Don't ignore the person who invited you, but talk to them, you know, let them know who you know, because you never know whose life you might be impacting indirectly.
All right. Zal, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks. So, guys, listen, we talk a lot here about some of the, you know, we're talking about investments. We talked earlier about people getting on the property ladder, and we know income is a big thing. And one of the things about Genestar, guys, is that Genestar is about giving people financial guidance in every area of their lives, not just in one product, in everything. And we need more people to do that. So here's an opportunity that you can create an income stream alongside what you're doing. You know, it's hard to increase our income in our jobs. And sometimes, you know, we can't just go out and take on a second job. We have family, you know, we got, you know, our hours aren't enough to do all of that. And so we want to be able to create something to create an income whilst we can, you know, we can still keep our jobs and, you know, do all of these things. And so Genestar is a business where all you need is a working tablet or laptop and Wi-Fi, and you're able to work wherever you are, whatever time of the day. You can work. You could be on holiday, and if you wanted to take your laptop, you could still see a client back here. So with a job, you don't have those flexibility. You don't have security. You can't just demand a salary increase like that. But here is something that you can do, and I'm going to show you the 3 ways of which you can be a part of the business in a few moments as well. And the thing about it is, guys, we're always building somebody else's business. If we don't build our own business, we end up building somebody else's business. That is what we do. So it's an opportunity to build alongside our existing jobs, a business. And guess, here's the thing about it. You use money. So you need to understand finances better for yourself as well. And you will become something that, you know, can change, not something, someone that can change other people's lives and change a generation by what you do. So I'm going to call my colleague, Executive Vice President Sabina Sunarum, to share with us here a little bit about looking at the business, be it from a part-time to a full-time basis, because some people are saying right now, Barbara, I'm busy. Let's talk about part-time. So Sabina, hey, it's good to have you on again, as I said, and to take time out sharing with us this afternoon again. So welcome.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for allowing me to share a few words today.
Okay, awesome stuff. So question is, so tell us a little bit about how you got involved in Jenny Star and why you got involved.
Yeah, sure. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sabina Sinaram, and I came across Jenny Star 5 years ago. Now, at the time, I was working. I was working in the City of London, managing the websites and platforms of different companies. So I had a good career. I had a 10-year career in IT, got a master's in IT as well. So I was earning a good income. Now, for me, that was not enough. Because I didn't see myself just somebody who would be working 9 to 5 from start until I'm 70. That's not my life. I wanted to see what else I could do. I know we all got more potential than what we usually do. We have more potential, way more than we think. Just that we haven't discovered. So I was on a journey to discover myself. At the time, I'd also started investing in property. So I'd started building a portfolio of property for myself and my family. So that was going well. So when I came across Jenny Star, I saw a few things on there that I felt I had to get involved. Many reasons. First of all, the education. The education side is powerful. I mean, financial education, people don't teach that in the UK. You need to pay an advisor to tell you what to do, what not to do. But the essential learnings, they don't teach that. So financial education is powerful. It helps somebody improve, make progress, do new things, and so on. So for me, that was important. And rightly so, I've learned so much. In fact, today, like you were saying, we've learned about trust and all of these things. Every week, there's a new thing that we learn about, and it's good for our own personal situation as well. Second thing is helping others. For me, I really like helping others. I'm passionate about helping others, making a change and improvement with their lives. So this business is an ideal vehicle for me to do that. So it helps me not just to help myself, but educate others, guide them, help them with their own situation, help them save money, make money, secure their finances and all of that. So that's it. So for me, it's an ideal way to help others. In fact, I've helped many family, friends, community members, lots of strangers as well, which is great. And the last thing as well is income security. For me, like I was saying, I don't believe in just having one income stream. It's good to work, but we need to have other multiple streams of income as well. For many, reason we can't just depend on one, because what if that one income stream leaves us? Anything could happen. Pandemic has shown us that people can lose their jobs for no reason, a change in the law, digitalization, pandemic, economic situations, environmental conditions. People can lose their jobs. So we need to be prepared by having other things that brings us an income. We don't depend on people. And like assets, businesses, that's the reason for me. I do these things so that I'm secure. I know my family is more secure than just having one dependent income stream. Yeah. So that's the reason I got involved. So 5 years ago. And from there, I built steadily my business. I joined part-time, like you were saying, and qualified to team, senior team leader and group leader. And I qualified as vice president last year. And I decided to put in more time in the business then.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, and I know might be you're one of the people who took a lot longer, even though you were making good income. You're one of the people that each week we used to look on the income report and you'd made so much money. I'm thinking, why is this girl going full time? She's making money. Why is she still doing her job? But then that's the good thing about the business is that nobody forces you to tell you must leave your job because you're making more money here. So listen, you mentioned there about helping families. You mind sharing a client story with us? I know I haven't asked the other, their stories are different, but I just wanted to ask you about,
Yeah, sure. I've seen many clients over the last 5 years, but one of them I'll share. I've seen clients for all walks of life. People who are struggling, people who are well off as well, investors, there's all sorts of work. And all of them, they find some sort of value from what we do, no matter where they are on their finances. Even people who are retired, they see value sometimes in what we do. Now, one of the stories I'd like to share is a doctor. I mentioned I invest in property. So him and his family were renting an apartment from me in London. So just talking to them one day, I asked them, hey, you are both high earners. You got good jobs as doctors. How come you haven't got your own property yet? You're renting out. You must be earning way more than me. How come you haven't got the property yourself? Then it says, oh, we haven't got the deposit yet, and this and that. And I said, okay, do you know what? Do you want us having a little chat? I mean, I'm a financial educator, financial coach. I might be able to give you some ideas how you can do that. They said, yeah, that'll be great. So I set up a session with them, and on there, I showed them the exact same things we show all families. We got a presentation where we share them concepts that will blow away their mind. So show them the same thing. And at the end of it, I had a plan done for them with recommendations, how to achieve their own goals and dreams. I mean, for them, it was important to buy their own home, secure the kids' finances, and so on. So that was 2 years ago, actually. I did that plan for them. And I didn't hear from them after that about the plan. And last year now, in December time, the doctor called me and said, hey, do you remember the plan you did for us? We've followed it now. We've been able to save $3,000 a month now based on what you said. And now we've got our deposit now for our house. We now are able to buy a house. So I guided them on the process. So it was really, I mean, for me, it's not something big or huge. But the thing is, simple things I showed them, they managed to buy a £500,000 house. So for them, it was a big thing. For them now, they got a home. Their family future is secure. Their kids don't have to worry about becoming homeless one day. Yeah. So these things, and for me, it makes me really fulfilled because I've made the difference in somebody's life. Yeah.
You know, you said something, I mean, Sabina, you know, I mean, people ask me all the time, why am I so excited 17 years after I've been doing this? So I didn't start 6 months or a year or 2 years ago or 5 years. You're still excited. I've been doing this for 17 years. And there's something about financial freedom. Financial freedom is priceless.
It is.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we're all about goals. I mean, one of my goals was to have a Range Rover for my 50th. I'm collecting my Range Rover next week. I've got my private license plates. Yeah. But one other thing about it is being able to be in that position that you can do the things that you want. There's nothing wrong with you wanting big things. It's okay if you also don't want big things, you know, because we have all different things. We are created differently, equally, but differently. So again, you know, one of the thing about it is also being able to enjoy financial freedom, help others to do the same, let your children start better off than you got. And that's, it's just amazing. I don't, you know, it's money is just, it's the same thing that we all go to work for. And it's amazing that people, you know, still haven't seen the value of the education. I mean, it's crazy, but you know, you've seen it. So in closing, what would you say to our guests? Sorry, I know I'm going to run a little bit over with my coughing fit that I had earlier, so sorry. But yeah, so in closing, you know, what would you really say to our guests who are listening to us right now?
A couple of things here. First of all, time is very precious. I mean, we all have limited time in our lives, but we all have 24 hours a day. What I would say is most people are busy anyway. So this business, it doesn't take all your time. This business, the beauty of it is very flexible. People can start small, fit in whatever time they have, and then work out the business. In fact, with me, for example, when I started, I was working full time, having a portfolio, family, and so on. But that didn't stop me from building a successful business. So people can work around the existing time. Anything they're doing is not leaving their jobs or anything, just on top of whatever time they have. Another thing as well is they don't need to be experts. I mean, many people think that finance is an overwhelming thing. I'll never be able to do that. But what we do is very simple. We've got a simple presentation, simple system that we follow. So people can just plug in, learn the system. In 2 weeks, they can get trained for this business. 2 weeks, that's what people are doing nowadays. So you don't need to do like a 5-hour course or, I mean, 5-year course or something to earn from this business. You can, somebody can plug in 2 weeks, they can get the license and start earning. And the other thing I would also say is convenience. This is a business that people can do right from their own home. So they don't need to be worried about traveling, spending money, travel, finding an office, all that kind of things. They can be working from home, earning money from the comfort of their own home. And it's especially good for those who are unable to leave, like a shielding, or maybe pandemic, they can't go out, or maybe they got kids, they can't find somebody to look after them. So they could be earning money from their home. And another thing I would say is now is the best time to do business. I've been looking at businesses since 10 years. I mean, every year things get better. If people now, because of digitalization and the pandemic and all of that's happening, if people don't do a business now, they might have missed the boat. So now is the best time to do a business. If not now, when? So that's what I would say for closing.
True. Sabina, well, thanks so much for sharing. I mean, and as you said, I know your journey is going to be awesome now. You've gone full time, and you don't have ownership of your own business, which is one of the beauties of being full time. You actually get to own your own franchise within the company. So that's just awesome. Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Barbara. Thank you.
alrighty. Cool. Hey guys, let me quickly run through my last couple of slides. Please forgive me here for running a little bit over. So we have 3 income opportunity. We have an introducer or an affiliate program where you earn an income through referring. And even for the people who say, look, we haven't got no time. Part-time is 6 to 8 hours a week. You could find a 6 to 8 hours. I mean, we're saying to give you an effective income, but even as an affiliate, we have affiliates who can find that time. But if you categorically say I can't find any time, then we've got our affiliate program, and that pays you as well upfront income. Sorry, plus residual income. Part-time, 6 to 8 hours a week, you can create a brilliant business and a great income opportunity. And I'll show you what the income will kind of look like depending on where you are. And then we talk about full-time in the business where you own your own business at the vice president level. Is ownership time. You have your business, you could sell it, you could retire, you could pass it on at that point. But the beautiful thing about it, you can stay part-time as long as you want. If you never want to go full-time, that's absolutely fine. If you just want to see 1 client or 10 clients, is really up to you. And so if you look at kind of seeing 1 client a week or referring 1 client a week, if you are, an introducer or an affiliate or a trainee, whilst you're training, between 50 and 250 pounds in a month for just being an affiliate. Once you're licensed, you can make anywhere from 500 to 1,000 pounds per month, helping 1 client a week, guys, 1 family a week, 500 to 1,000 pounds in a month. Once you're licensed, you can't start and you're starting client. Sabina mentioned some of these positions here, and these are supervisors. Team leaders, senior team leaders, and group leaders is where we have people who are supervisors. They're not full-time in the business, but they have managed to carve out more time so that they can run supervisions with the team. They can do development sessions. They can run assessments. They can do all of these things and work with people to get them licensed. So these are or supervisory positions where you can be as well. And it's also part-time at that point, but people do make a higher income for being supervisors. So by the way, you don't make any money if the for recruiting people. So if you invite anybody and they join, you don't get paid. The person who was introduced to today will not make any money. There's no pay. The £140 for the background check is paid for fraud, terrorism, and money laundering checks. So it's more enhanced than a DBS. We don't make any money from it. So at the end of the day, hey, that's not where our money comes from. Our money's come from the clients we see. We make an income up front, plus we have residual income. And there are loads of products that clients will use that get renewed. You can see here as an executive vice president, you're looking at about 5,000 plus in a month. And you also have bonuses, and you have ownership of your business. I'm now a senior vice president. It was actually an earned position. They did not give it to me, even though one of the founders, which is cool, guys, because it means that if you come on board, you're not going to say, well, Barbara has more advantage than me because she was a founder. Everybody earned the senior vice president position, just like earning the vice president position. With the vice president position, yes, I didn't have to re-qualify for it because when our old company closed, I was already a vice president. And as one of the founders, I carried my title over. But as senior vice president, I had to earn it. You can see 10,000 plus. That's what the income looked like. We currently have a fast track program for anyone who think, hey, they want to hear a little bit more about if they decide to go full time in the future. We have a fast track program that's running till the end of the year where you can move from being a rep to the vice president position. We also have some of the benefits of being a representative, the financial education, guys. If all you get here is the education, and you never made any money, the education is going to save you thousands, if not millions of pounds for your family's future. Personal development you're getting here. We want to empower you. We want to get you engaged. We want to help you to, move you forward, get your vision to start moving you. Leadership training that you're going to get, plus the training you're getting from other leaders, and you're developing as a leader, and the responsibility we start giving you as a trainer. Tax deduction is brilliant. If you do any other business, the tax position in financial services is a lot better. It's taxed differently. Access to all the providers, and you have true business ownership. I share some statistics with you at the beginning. Some of them are the same, but I just want to share with you the one about credit card, about how high people are borrowing at rates of return and saving at smaller rates of return. Look at the comparison, which is why a lot of people are not being okay. We showed you 11 years as being the years it would take for first-time buyer to buy their homes. But that was in April, but this was March. So in fact, it's extending the length of time, the state pension. We spoke to you about creating your own retirement plan from now, and also planning adequately that your families won't have to pay inheritance tax, and also being able to show others how to do the same thing as well. You know, Richard Branson said if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, you're not sure you can do it, just say yes, and then you learn how it's done later. We're telling you something that it's, you know, it is something that's worthwhile. We're not telling you we're some super duper people. We're just telling you that we've learned concepts that we want to share, and we want to empower others to use, and we also want to get others the same knowledge that we have, that they can teach it to others, because there's not enough of us. So here is what I want to say. Let's arrange a time. I'm sure you'll have some more questions for me. I didn't get to cover it all in an hour. Let's talk about how we get paid, how we get trained, how you get promoted, how if you want to build a team or not build a team, if you're qualified to work for us. This is what we could have on our conversation, or anything else you want to talk to us about. So I'm going to put a little poll up on my screen, and if you tell us what area when we get together you'd like to talk about. Do you want to talk about the affiliate program, talk about the part-time, talk about the full business opportunity, talk about the financial game plan, or if you want to talk about more than one of those things, then we'd love to have a chat with you. So let me shut up for a minute there and give you a minute just to choose which one you're interested in, and then we can have a one-to-one conversation. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so listen, thank you so much for doing that. It was a pleasure having you on. Please forgive me for running a bit over. I always try to finish by 1, but with my voice, when I lost my voice there. So thank you so much for hanging with us. I do hope you learned something today, and even if this is not for you, thank you for joining. I hope that whatever you learn, you'll be able to put into practice. And I love to look to talk to you. So I look forward to catching up with you and having a conversation. Please stay safe, stay blessed, and I hope to speak to you soon. Alrighty, bye bye for now.